So yeah, this is the Christmas song, and I got everyone here, and we're all gonna sing. You guys know what you're gonna say?
No, I don't do this at all, Kyle.
I'm gonna start the drums.
Kyle, it's so stupid. Like, who even cares about Christmas? Like, come on.
All right. So are you guys ready?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I'm not.
Let's start with Jeremy, I guess. So what do you want for Christmas?
Well, everything, Kyle. Come on. What don't I want for Christmas? You know, that's all I'm saying. Like,
Well, okay. Well, what's the one thing you want for Christmas? It's got to start the song now. Just let us know.
the one thing. Okay. Think about that for a second. Oh, I know it is, Kyle. On the first day of Christmas, my parents gave to me a copy of StartCraft 2.
Nice. Okay. So is there anything else you want for Christmas?
No, that's it. I think, pretty much.
Is there, the song's got to go on. Like you need 2 of something, and 3 of something, and 4 of something.
Well, for God, guess on the second day of Christmas, my parents gave to me another copy of StarCraft 2.
Okay, it's got to be.
User
something
Trooper
different on the second.
_ish
You want 2 of
says,
something, then you
"Hi,
want 3 of
I
something,
needed to
and
refresh
that's
my
the song
page."
goes.
Oh.
User
Yeah, I guess
Mastic
there's some other stuff I
_warrior
guess
says,
I
"Hey
could
True."
get.
All right.
On the
User
second day of
Trooper
Christmas,
_ish
I
says,
found under the
"How are
tree
ya,
2
Master?"
pin video cards and a copy of
User
StarCraft
Mastic
2.
_warrior
All right,
says,
T-Bag, you
"Roger
want
that."
anything for Christmas?
Not really. I kind of own everything. I mean, if I want some, I'll get it myself.
Okay, there's got to be something that you don't have right now that you would like to have, right?
But like what? I mean, I can't. On the third day of Christmas, I found under the tree 3 cosplay hotties.
2 pin video cards and a copy of StarCraft 2. Well, Kyle, that was fun. I guess I'm gonna take off there.
No. It's 12 days. We need at least 12
12.
things. Yeah, 12.
Kyle, it's been like. On the 4th day of Christmas, my parents gave to me like 4 billion Wii points,
3 cosplay hotties.
2 new video cards, and a copy of StarCraft 2. On the 5th day of Christmas, my parents left for me. Kyle, so gay. Whoa.
4, no, I'm not.
3 cosplay hotties.
2 pin video cards and a copy of StarCraft 2. On the 6th day of Christmas, my ISP gave to me a 6 millisecond ping. 5, Kyle's gay. Whoa.
4, there's no way.
3 cosplay hotties.
2 pin video cards and a copy of
User Trooper
StarCraft 2.
_ish says, "Sorry I missed last stream."
Christmas, my sponsors.
There's no need to
User
apologize.
Trooper _ish says,
You're in no way obligated to. Yeah, it was cleaning special. But you're in no way obligated to tune in. So don't apologize.
All right, Dave.
It was pretty much a dead stream anyway. Some new people came in, but
It's not
it was pretty
hard.
much a
You
dead
wanna sing
stream.
Whatever you want for Christmas, just put a number in front of it, whatever you want.
So how have you been
All
there?
right, well, why don't I just start for you then? On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8.
Eat a dick.
7.1 speakers.
6 millisecond ping. 5, cause homosexual.
User Trooper _ish
I
says,
guess quiet streams happen. Yeah, yeah, they do. I think the only regular was Elijah, and he came in pretty late. Then he had to leave. So it was mostly new people. There's nothing wrong with that, though.
4, that's not true.
3 cosplay hotties.
2 pin video cards and a copy of StarCraft 2.
I mean, I got one. Hold on. Okay, ready. All right.
So we're listening to the dulcet tones of Pure Ponage.
User Trooper _ish says, "I am doing good. It's been a short week. After another short week. And I am taking Monday off. For a
Nice.
3rd short week in a row."
Nice, well, congratulations. We all need time to reboot and recharge. So I'm glad you're able to get some reprieve and, do something for yourself. That's good. Happy to hear that.
Okay, so are you ready to go?
So as usual, we're going to start with a little bit of cleaning. Shouldn't be much, but a little bit of cleaning, and then you can get started. Well, actually, I have to thaw out the Cornish hen, but we could still get started with the stream.
I don't want to get
3 cosplay hotties. 2 pin video cards and a copy of
2.
Alright, so here's 12. It's the last one.
Oh.
Yay.
Like 18 hours.
It's been like 4 minutes,
Yeah,
so...
like 4 minutes. Finish it off.
12's a big number.
Let's go.
On the 12th day of Christmas, I owned on my PC 12
Wash my
billion noobs. 1080p, Mega Man 9, 8, the sound licks, 7.1 speakers, 6 millisecond ping.
Kyle's follows loads.
What the fuck?
3 cosplay hotties.
Of StarCraft.
Seriously, Blizzard, please. On my hands and knees. Blizzard, please. Hook a brother up, please. StarCraft 2 album, please.
There's only one.
You wash my hand too.
User Trooper_ish says, who are the PWNAGE folks?
You don't know who?
User Trooper_ish says,
No.
are they like a hacker collective?
Not even close. You're the mockumentary. The mockumentary from like the early 2000s. Wow. Hold on.
There's a place that looks like heaven, where I played till level 7, where the pine trees grow.
User Master_warrior says, https://www.pwpwnage.com.
This came out when I was in high school. Yeah, it's hilarious because it makes fun of the gamer community, the pro gamer community, like when it was still nascent on the internet. Always Christmas time in Dunmore. For all you WoW players.
Says, they do skits for the web.
It was a web series. Yeah. Then it spawned into an actual TV show on Candace Showcase channel, and then they ended up making a movie after the show got canceled after the first season. So it was a web series, 12 episodes of a web series that was meant to be more. And then they got a TV deal, so they couldn't do the web series anymore. They rewrote some of the story for the TV show. Showcase had the rights to the story, so they couldn't finish the web series because they got a pretty shitty deal. But they were able to make a movie, and they recasted for the movie, or partially recasted for the movie, to try to at least finish a whole story arc. And then they came out with the CD for the web series, like the soundtrack for the web series.
Helping Felix get that one last missing bolt. When the grinding gets you down, grab a flight back to my town. In the land of ice and snow.
Maybe they were only popular in North America. Because I found out about it from... I used to watch a lot of internet hacker web series, and one of my friends showed me this in high school, and it like became our thing. Even in college, that was like our thing. Like, you don't know, Kyle. You don't know. I lost to a noob, Kyle. I'm the owner of Kyle. I can't. Oh no. You're so Canadian. Oh no. Oh no, Kyle. But when you hear me say like owning noobs or taking noobs to school, they're like, yeah, you'll want some of that. Or the Balls song. Yeah, what? Oh. Got the balls? I got the balls. Big, big, big the balls. Who's got the balls? Balls. The big, big the balls. Big balls.
This is dedicated to the gamers that been holding it down since
Straight out of
Halo
Blood
1.
Gulch.
Then you have no chance to survive. Make your time.
Welcome to HD.
This is Teabag. He was added at the tail end of the web series. Fortunately, he tragically died in a car accident in Toronto. So they couldn't finish his story arc. His story arc was supposed to finish out the first season. So when he died, they took a hiatus and they came back and they rewrote basically the story arc for the first season. And that's when they got the TV show. So they were like, kind of hard to do it without Teabag. So we're just gonna do the web series and start, like, reboot it. Or not the web series, but take the TV show and basically reboot things. And as you can tell, he's the token black dude.
User Trooper_ish says, the tone of the music turned like.
Yeah, because it's Teabag, so like I say, he's the token black dude. And of course, he's got to do the hardcore gangster rap for WoW.
User Trooper_ish says, but as it's parodies, then it'll rip off whatever they take as source
Yeah.
material.
So Straight Out of Blood Gulch is their parody of Straight Outta Compton from NWA. Ninjas with attitudes, so to speak. And also the joke is Canadian gangster rappers, right? Okay. Like, what's hard about or what's gangster about growing up in Canada?
Futuristic drama about hostile aliens. Having conquered the software industry, Microsoft now has a firm foothold in the entertainment business.
How many gamers are ready to lose? Don't need no ammo, shut you up with my sword. How many gamers are ready to lose? I did my second motherfucking
Now they're also making fun of
User
song 187 on an Undercover Cop.
There must be criminals in Canada, else they would not need the FANTAB
Well,
USL Wide West Mounties.
the criminals tend to be, or at the time, the criminals tended to be Eastern Europeans, mostly Ukrainians, Russians, and I think, what was it, Serbians or whatever? So, like, you know, basically Slavic mob. And you don't stop, cause it's 187 on an Undercover Cop. You don't stop. 7 on an Undercover Cop. Oh no, it didn't bring the import. Should have found the new album.
It's something that I have to
To do.
I
You like owning. Hold on. Defeat is
User Trooper_ish says, I guess you would be able to tell the local criminals apart. Because they
Fair.
would be constantly apologizing throughout. Sorry, a single quote.
Well, that's how you could find the Slavic ones. You don't apologize. Try not copy it over to the share. Oh. Guess I didn't. I thought I did that yesterday. Copy the wrong thing? Yeah, I guess I didn't. I thought I copied it from my computer. Hold on. I'm gonna run upstairs and copy it over again. Got some new music. Stop. 8709. Excuse me. Stop. Undercover cop.
There's something that I have to do. I feel like owning news. Something that I have to do. 'Cause I feel like owning news. The time of my defeat is through. I'm totally gonna own you.
Oh, it's under various artists.
Instead of my fingers, I will use my toes. I'll still play way better than you. 'Cause that's just what I'm gonna do. Oh God, this song's so much better when I'm singing it. I feel like owning news. I'm sorry, is that your mom or is that you? Oh, good game, no read.
I forgot I imported it under what the CD data came from, which was various artists. So it should be here. Pure Poundage, Season 1 original. Back. Why is it not showing up here though? Pure Poundage, Season 1 OST. To all ports. Other. Oh, I see. Pulled from local. Universe. Music. Album. Open. Oh. Back to music. Figure too fast. Well then, oh, damn, it's just that fucking slow. Hold on. That's slow. Ant farm, police. Holy brother. Your ownership.
We used to be so strong, get out of my space. We used to be so strong, but now the world.
Are you out of order? Should be in order. All right, cool. Let's get the dishwasher loaded. Be right back. I'm going to pour this in my. I'm getting a mother and this tea that Lucy made. I'm going to pour it into my compost. The world's gone wrong. Isn't for you. No, this isn't for you. Oh, I need to thaw out the corner chin, so let me put that in there now. So that way it's somewhat done by the time we are ready to do something with it. We used to be strong, get out of face. Hey noobs, I'm gonna totally own you noobs. I'm gonna own you. Afraid. I'll give you some spanks. Just like your old noob. Yep. Okay. Got that wrong. Memory is going. Like only like pretty hard stuff, right? Nice. Only like you're like somebody who's not trying to play the games. Own you. This thing on? Cause I own you. Like sometimes. Maybe when you play the game. Gonna do a quick dish check. I'll be right back.
Noobs, I just like kind of want to let you know that like I totally like own like you, and you know, you may think that like maybe one day like maybe I won't like anymore, but that's wrong. I'm always gonna own you. 'Cause
Nothing
I'm the owner.
helpful.
It's just what I do. I own you like pretty hard stuff, right? Oh, you want some of that? You're someone's mom.
Like mojito?
Oh, you're
I have it.
begging for the mercy now. I'm gonna give you some spanks. 'Cause you're
But I had this
a
in.
noob and you'll suck ass at every game you try to play. I own all.
I want your love and affection.
It's something that I have to do. I
Feel like owning you. Time of my defeat is through. I'm totally gonna own you.
User USSJ2 Elijah says,
Hey, Elijah.
Ian.
I slept like crap. I had very weird and vivid dreams last night. A lot of sleep paralysis. Burned a lot of calories fighting in my sleep and trying to shake off the sleep paralysis, but I feel okay.
User USSJ2
Little tired.
Elijah says, I'm gonna be lurking for a bit. Need to do some note taking. User
When you're lurking for a bit, you need to do some note taking. Yeah, no worries, man. You do you, boo boo. You do you. I feel like owning you. Owning you.
If
Okay.
one wants to truly own, one must own in all games.
I'm like the owner, like what I do. Be a quick cycle. It's clean or not, so this is go indie. This over here. All right. So I don't remember if you were around, Troop, when I made this, but I made a Russian staple food, comfort food from the Soviet times called macaroni paflutsky, which is basically a naval pasta. or they call it Navy pasta, naval pasta. Basically, it was a mixed vegetable meat sauce with pork and beef. It actually came out pretty okay. So anyway, I have a whole bunch of that meat sauce left. I have the Cornish hen that I'm thawing right now. I have a whole bunch of peppers.
User Trooper
It does sound
underscore
familiar.
issues. It does
Okay,
sound
cool.
familiar.
That way you're not lost in the sauce. Like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? I have a whole bunch of peppers that Lucy bought that I want to use, but I didn't know what to do with it. But since this is very vegetable forward, I was like, I can do Cornish hen and then stuff it, because the meat sauce is already cooked. Stuff it, chop up the peppers to put in there as well, and then bake that. Make a side of rice, because I also have some beans and rice, or some beans with smoked turkey neck, or smoked turkey necks and smoked pork neck bones in there. I will give this to the girls real quick. So I figured that would go well together. Girls. Probably should have given you the other stuff too. Good? You like that? Like them num nums? Yeah? Happy chicken noises? Good chicken. Get it, girl. Get it. Get it, girl. So get that going. I love this song. This is so that previous thing that you heard was the training montage after Jeremy gets beat by a noob, because he's like the owner and he gets beat by a noob, and basically that's him training with the owner to hone his skills. And then after that, he builds a computer, like the ultimate computer, to beat the noobs at Command and Conquer, which is his game of choice. But I just like this song. It's so 80s. A computer for the owner. Building a computer. Watch your ears, headphones users. About to hit the garbage disposal real quick.
User Trooper underscore where are you academically?
Where are you academically? So academically, I have finished my master's degree. So I'm done with school. I have not started a doctorate program yet because that is not something that I could do hybrid or remotely. And there's no school near me that offers it. The closest one is either in Bellingham, which is about a 45-minute drive.
Which says, congrats,
Master Masick. Thank you. The other one that I'm interested in going to is in the Seattle area at UW, University of Washington, which is in Seattle, which is a trek. So in order to make it work, I would need to go to school near where I work, which means I either need to find a job in Seattle first or a job in Bellingham first. That way I can, not have to keep going back and forth, because Seattle is about a 2-hour drive, depending on when I go. Traffic, so it could be longer, so I could be spending at least a 2-hour or at least a 4-hour round trip just to get down there, versus an hour and a half to Bellingham. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I got to find some place to do that. However, with the current political climate, as I'm pretty sure you all have been seeing what's going on here, and the fact that they're trying to attack schools for having diversity, equity, inclusion, and all that other stuff, and I live in a progressive state, they're talking about now starting to mess with schools' accreditation. So, depending on how long this bastard lives or is in power, and his executive orders that are illegal are in place until the Supreme Court decides they want to get around to it and actually put a ruling out there, it makes no sense to go to school only to have my degree mean nothing because it's not accredited, because the president and his cronies have fucked with the accreditation. So I'm currently, I think I've already told you guys that Nurse Lucy and I are toying with the idea of moving abroad anyway. Well, I mean, we've always talked about it, but now, like, more than ever. So she sent me a list of school or countries that will pay me to get a master's degree, or sorry, a doctorate degree in their country. The only problem is they don't speak English. Right now on the list, basically you need to speak English or French, because those are the only 2 languages that Lucy knows, that she's even interested in. She's not interested in learning another language. So my choices are pretty limited. However, one of my friends in Kazakhstan was talking about teaching out there, like teaching computer science curriculum in English, because Kazakhstan is still trying to separate themselves from Russia, so they've already dropped the Cyrillic alphabet to use the Latin alphabet, and they've been pushing hard for people to start speaking Kazakh.
Not just TF.
Yeah, not just a TOEFL then. So yeah, so they've been pushing to, have the kids learn Kazakh now instead of Russian as a first language. And they're also trying to learn English because it's the other international language, but they're trying to separate themselves. They've been doing this for 20 years, slowly separating from Russia, hoping, that Russia would not notice, but now that Russia's invading their neighbors, they're like, fuck it, whatever. So anyway, so she mentioned that I could work for one of the universities either in Almaty, which is the old capital, or Astana, which is the new capital of Kazakhstan. And, it still would need to know Russian or Kazakh, to deal with staff and stuff. But as far as teaching the curriculum in English, or teaching the Kazakh staff how to conduct things in English, basically. So that's an option. Nurse Lucy was like, oh yeah, I mean, that's a thing. As long as we know somebody there, then that makes things a little bit easier. So she's okay with that. So playing around with those ideas, but looking where we can go, because things are not safe, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up on a list. So I think I told you guys that my brother and I had an idea to basically track all of this nonsensical spending that Trump is doing, saying he's saving us money, but we're spending. We've already spent over $80 million for him just in golf since he's been president. So my brother and I came up with a website, and right now it's a landing page, but I'm pretty sure this is going to get me on a list, and either I won't be able to go to Japan, or I won't be able to come back from Japan. Najib Jack, what's good, Masick? How's it going? It's going. How about yourself, Najib? Been a while. So yeah, so it's going to get me put on a list probably. Either I won't be able to make it to Japan, or I'll be able to make it to Japan and then not be able to come back in the United States, or I'm probably going to get detained at the border, or they're just going to try to confiscate my gear because the United States has been confiscating people's personal electronics or trying to search it, which you don't have to let them search as long as you turn off your biometrics. They can't ask you for your password, or you can just say you don't know it. But instead, what they've been doing is keeping people's stuff. Chilling, hanging with Twitch buds, doing some writing. Okay. Writing is always good.
User Krapa9 says,
Yo, the beard is dope. Got some abling action going on. It's just laziness. Since you know I'm bald, I can still grow facial hair. Not on the sides, but under my chin. I can definitely grow it.
How did your food come out?
How'd the food come out? It came out okay. It wasn't my best work, but it wasn't bad. It was surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be.
Some wise look going on, laughing face.
Some wise looking going on. There. But yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. It was better than I expected it to be. And it got better over time.
User Najib Jack says, okay good. I only had Cornish hen once, but it was tasty. User Krapa
Yeah, so no R&B this time. I'm playing a soundtrack from an old TV or old internet web series. So I usually try to use music that won't get caught on the content ID, because otherwise they'll just start muting the stream. And I don't have it set up correctly to send the music audio to another track. So I need to set that up on the streaming PC to send the music to another audio track, and that way I can just have it not sent to the recording, because if it's in the recording, it can get copy stricken. If it's live, they really don't care. Or I can just turn recording off, but yeah. So I just need to set up my music player to send a different audio stream to Twitch so I can exclude it from the recording, and it should be fine. Just been lazy, dealing with depression and stuff like that, and lack of motivation to do things, but I'm feeling better these last few days. I've been doing a lot of gardening, outside yard work and stuff like that, getting some sunlight, and it's been helping keep me, not necessarily motivated, but keeping me doing things. So I've got a list of things that I need to do.
Sorry to hear, man. Here if you ever
I appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
User Najib Jack says, glad to hear
Yeah,
you're feeling
I actually washed the CRX the other day. Oh, thank you for the follow. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it.
User Krapa9 says,
Yeah, so I washed the CRX and it's like, okay, got all the moss and stuff off of it so she doesn't look like she's thrown away.
Jack says, no problem.
And now I was like, okay, well I need to do some things, so I need to do the rear trailing arms, so I can put the rear disc brakes on, and you know, I realized that it was the physical manifestation of my depression. It was just slowly decaying over time. And back in the day, either driving or working on my CRX was one of the ways that I, managed my depression. That and playing my musical instruments, which I've been picked up the guitars and the basses the last couple of weeks, but that wasn't totally helping because I'm bad at it, because it's been years since I played. My fingers don't work the way they used to, so I gotta relearn that skill. And it was helping to put me in a bigger funk because of the fact that I could not express myself musically the way that I used to. And I forgot a lot of skills, so. Anyway, but the car doesn't require skill. And so I'm like, let me just dust it off and finally do something, and it's been helping. But definitely the gardening has been helping a lot. I definitely planted over 100 potatoes, seed potatoes, and I planted probably like 50 shallots and a whole bunch of other plants that I like to cook with. So.
You got this, man.
Hey, please too. If you're using fingers not to pick, it happens. Yeah, especially finger picking. I'm trash at it now. I'm definitely can't.
User Najib Jack says, I mean, that's a solid way to manage it.
Yeah.
Doing constructive things.
Physical activity helps.
Very wise.
Definitely
User
helps.
Krapa 9 says 100%.
Yeah, so I've just been trying to declutter and stuff. I realized that I look like my room looked like a hoarder's nest, my garage looked like a hoarder's nest and stuff, and that's basically just putting stuff away, compartmentalizing stuff, and basically that's like physical manifestation of depression. Like literally, that's how my brain felt. It's so cluttered, stuff everywhere, I can't think, can't focus, so getting those things knocked out really, really helped. Yeah, we're getting there. Working. We're working. I'm looking forward to the trip in Japan in June, but kind of like what I was mentioning, I may not be able to make it depending on if he continues to piss off Japan or if my website to track the spending that we're spending on him and the money that he's quote unquote saving us gets their attention. They may detain me at the border or whatever. Because my trip has been in flux because he's just been doing crazy stuff. Japan's already charging a tourism
User
tax
Krapa
now
9
on everything.
says, yeah, and look at what you are doing cleaning the CRX. Chatting to stream, cleaning and eating and planning a trip. Sounds like you
Yeah.
are doing so much what I can see. Even though going
thank you,
through
man.
a rough time. That's
Thank you.
strength. Proud of you, mate.
I appreciate it. It's like I tell people, you know, just gotta take it one day at a time. You know, I look at it, things can be worse. My mom has always been that way of don't say why me, or, you know, ask why, or, you know, think you've got it bad because you think you have it bad. Someone out there has it worse. And to a certain extent, that has helped me through life. But, you know, when you're down, you're just down. But, yeah, just take it one day at a time and just try to get better. All that we can do is try. Or, as Yoda says, there is no try, only do. However, you do what you can, but take it one day at a time. What I've been doing these last couple of weeks, trying to get myself out of the funk and just, you know, try to get back to the old me, because I've got to the point where things don't make me happy. Like even last stream, I didn't even cook. I just cleaned, did a deep clean because I didn't feel like cooking. One, I have a lot of
User
stuff
Krapa
that's already in the
9
freezer,
says,
but two,
"True man,
I feel like it.
look at the things you are doing, not what you are not doing."
True. True. And I'm one of those people, you know, clinical anxiety and depression, so I'm always worrying about stuff, and sure enough, I'm thinking about all the things that I need to do and not what I've done. It's like I feel bad, I did this, but I should have done this. Especially if I do something and I don't finish, or it takes longer to complete. It's like, oh, I wasted time. I could have done the easier thing first, but I didn't want to do the easier thing. So just living with myself and just like, hey, look, you're making the choice. You're doing something that you thought was going to work and it didn't work. It's okay, it happens. It didn't make you happy, or you didn't finish it in time, but the deadline that you set for yourself is artificial. No one's pressuring you but yourself, so ease up, stop being your worst enemy, and you'll be okay. You always have tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. No one died, which is basically what I'm telling myself. Did anyone die? No? Then what are you complaining about? Stop complaining. Do better next time. You know, make more time if that's the case. If you were unrealistic with your time frame, then make more time.
User Krapa 9 says, "True, and remember, talk to yourself like you would talk to a loved one. I doubt you would be hard on them like that."
That's fair, because I was talking to my sister the other day, helping her with a paper, and I talk, like when I'm trying to focus and stuff, and I talk to myself. She's like, you talk to yourself? I was like, yeah, but, you know, I say stuff like, oh, you idiot, you know, or you dummy, stuff like that. She was like, you sure you're talking to yourself, not me? I was like, no, I'm talking to myself. That's how I talk to myself. She's like, yeah, that's not good. That's what I've always done. So again, being hard on myself, like, oh, you idiot, how did you miss there? You dummy. How I talk to myself. And it's like in jest, self-deprecating, but eventually you start to believe that it starts to manifest itself. So you are right, my friend. You are right. You are 100% correct. All right. Let's get this guy sanitized. Sanitize. And we can can clear the counter area, and then we can look at our raw ingredients and see what we have.
Being there, man. Sometimes I slip into it. We just got to know we human. And look at the glass half full.
True. Very, very true. True words. I appreciate that. And I've always been an optimistic pessimist. I hope for the best, but I always prepare for the worst.
Quick question before I get back to studying. Do you have a personal Discord so that way we can recommend some spots to you while you in NL are? In Japan this June,
Nurse Lucy has a
User
Discord
Krapa9
channel.
says, like some people can't pull off the Abe Lincoln look, but you can.
Nurse Lucy has one. I don't have a personal Discord. I'm just a member of a couple and a mod for a few. You can message me.
USSJ2 Elijah says, if you have one, I can recommend some stuff so that way it could possibly.
Yeah, you can message me on Discord if you like.
User
But yeah, I don't
USSJ2
have a
Elijah
personal
says,
Discord.
I see. User Krapa9 says, hands clapping.
Thank you. Thank you, Crippa. Appreciate it. Be honest Abe over here. I need to probably take this thing out and like scrub it down outside and then power wash it. On me, I bombard you with so many screenshots and stuff. Oh, it's perfectly fine, man. It's all good. That's what it's for. So don't worry about it. Let this sit in, and then I'll probably soak this. But I'm gonna let the Lysol sit in to disinfect, and then I'll scrub it down. I'm gonna put this in here because Miss Lucy wants to make some more chili cheese dogs today. So I'll use this for the tapas fritas, the French fries. So it goes here. And excuse me for day drinking. Nurse Lucy made this last night and never finished it, so.
You know, you could also do car fixing streams if you'd want. It doesn't always have to be cooking if you're not in the mood.
True. I want to keep Saturdays as the cooking streams for sure, just because of meal prep purposes. But Lucy put a whiteboard laminate on the refrigerator, so I have some goals here. I'm trying to write them down. I'm going to put some time here for meditation and whatnot, and basically check those off to try to visualize things, since I'm having a hard time with memory and with dealing with the brain fog and stuff like that. If I can come here and see, like, you actually did do something. May have not been a lot, but at least you did something, having some progress. Because I'm a very, I get fulfillment from being able to see the fruits of my labor a lot. I like manual labor and physically doing stuff, because at the end of the day you can see what you've done. And being that most of my life, as far as professional life, is doing digital things, I know I completed something, but you can't really see it until it happens or whatever. I really like being able to see, like, I did that. Or, you know, I can prove to myself when the imposter syndrome kicks in, like, well, you feel bad, but you at least did that.
Ever thought about checking out Yoga Nidra?
I have no idea what that is. But now that you say that, sure, why not? There will definitely be car fixing streams once I get back from Japan, though. Right now I need to finish building the chicken run and get some yard stuff. Wait, 30-minute yoga nidra for deep rest. Oh, okay. Maybe Nurse Lucy has had me... Yes, I am a hands-on type person. That's why I make a bad supervisor or manager, because I have a strict belief that I will never ask you to do something that I can't do or that I won't do. So I'm usually the kind of person that if I'm trying to put somebody on a task, we'll figure it out together. I'll at least figure out enough and get you enough information, like, so that way I can confidently say you've got it. But I'm also one of those people that I can't stand back and watch people do stuff. I'm going to do stuff with you. I'm going to be there in there with you. I've always been that kind of person. Lead by example, and you know, I don't feel right telling people what to do if I'm not doing it. And I feel that this is me, but I feel like it's morally wrong for me to ask someone to do something that I can't do or that I won't do. Like for instance, firing someone, which I've had to fire people before, and it's the worst feeling in the world. But you know, being in a position where I can have somebody else do it, like, no, that's not right. I'm going to do it because the buck stops with me. So hey, look, you know, granted, those people deserve to be fired because warnings and warnings. Oh, thank you for this. Thank you, but no thank you. But you know, like, it's like, hey, those people deserve to be fired because we gave them chances, and you know, I personally worked with them to give them chances. But you know, it's like, hey, look, I'm going to be the person to get rid of them, not you, because I think now I don't want to fire people anymore.
At least you gave it a shot. Binaural beats affect each person differently.
So yeah, so Nurse Lucy has had me do something. I didn't know that's what it was called, but that actually works. A type of lay down meditation works to helps me get to sleep. So I think I've explained to you before, my problem with sleep is not just that I can't fall asleep, but that I can't stay asleep. So it does help me fall asleep, but then it's like I can't stay asleep. All right. Who wants cheap viewers? I want viewers that know their value.
We got the best viewer here. At second I question him.
All right. I want viewers that know their value and know that they're loved and they're appreciated. I don't want people who are cheap or feel like they're cheap or that they don't have self-worth or value. What's the point in that? The only reason why live streaming actually works, at least for me, is because of you guys. The conversations we have and all that stuff makes me feel alive and stuff, so why would I want cheap viewers? Like, I get it if you're just trying to grow and reach a number. Some people are that way. It's like, I gotta hit this number. But I'm also not monetized because I don't want the money to interfere with the chemistry that we have. So while I appreciate someone thinking that, you know, hey, I'm trying to help you get there for a little bit of kickback, I'm not that kind of person. But can't be mad at the hustle. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there who doesn't mind having cheap viewers. I'm just not that guy. Not that guy, pal. Not that guy. I'm gonna have to take this face off eventually. Get all up in there. So, when I was younger, probably up until my mid-20s, I used to use listen to music to help me fall asleep and relax, and specifically using music that was mixed, like mixed with, like, you know, guitar over here, guitar over there, or like, you know, they'd use certain mix to move the sound around and stuff. So it wasn't like, it was binaural, I guess, but it was like, you know, purposely mixed in a certain way, so that way, you know, there were many layers to the music, so it wasn't just like, oh, hey, you know, we're playing and you got your standard mixer. It'd be like, hey, some of the effects were like, hey, you know, it moves here or there, you know, we move the singer around in the music, so that way, you know, give it stage presence even though you're listening to it. It's like, oh, hey, you know, I can picture him, you know, running around the stage because his audio mix is going this way to that way, or, you know, stuff like that. So that stuff does help me focus. But if I can focus on one thing, or focus on not focusing on one thing, then that helps calm my brain down to help me fall asleep. So like for instance, I can study with music, and it's easier for me to study or to be focused with music, but it has to be music that I've heard before, that I know very well. If I don't know the song or I don't know the music very well, then I become focused on picking the music apart, listening to the different instruments, the different tracks and all that stuff that are like trying to see like, hey, did they record this in one take? Can I hear a break? Do I hear multi-layering of the same instrument, which means that it's a multi-track recording, kind of thing. My brain just starts doing all that stuff. So if it's something that I know very well, then I can just tune the music out. Like I can get in the rhythm of it, pick up the beats per minute kind of thing, and then I can ignore the music because I know what it is, so I'm not focused on it. It just becomes white noise for me that I'm tuned to. I don't know if me explaining that really made sense, but if I'm familiar with the music, then I can tune it out. And it helps me focus. It basically quiets the rest of my brain because I'm just focusing on tuning out the music, versus if it's something I've never heard before, then I'm focused on learning about it and picking it apart and analyzing it and stuff like that. Is it weird? I have a weird relationship with music, I think. Put this in the front yard and let the sunlight disinfect. Be right back, chat. But the road doesn't know he's not empty tonight. World of Warcraft is a feeling. Who needs a social life? Won't you join me on an instance farming run? Free up some bank space. And once I've paid, I'll be glad to go. Is a feeling. Who needs a social life? Can you be RS? Strum a ballad. Oh, the six. Congrats to my guildmate, but I can't believe this shit. World of Warcraft, you're the greatest game. Oh, up on the griffin. The world of Warcraft, all right. Okay, so again, look at these gains, chat. Thank God I can afford a brand new car. Look at them eggs, son. Look at all them eggs, son. As Wu-Tang Clan would say, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all.
180 says, oh yes. I've been looking
I'm oil baron rich. I need to be careful showing this because again, I might get detained at the border. Trump may can't come to detain my chickens and my eggs. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money.
Or burglarize.
Dollar bills, y'all. Oh yes, I've been looking for you. Hey, master of splits. Or burglarized, yeah.
User trooper _ish says, for the eggs.
Mr. Splits. Master Splits, sorry. How are things? How are things going, my friend? Mon frère? How you been? I also need to eat something. Thank you for reminding me. Not put my personal information out there, right? Just leaving that right on the counter for y'all to see.
User master of splits 180 says, lurking.
Lurking, doing my
stretches.
stretches, okay.
User USSJ2 Elijah says, protein bar.
Banana. So let's move these out of the way. And then we will disinfect this countertop. And
User
then
USSJ2 Elijah says,
you'll take the
ones
noobs
he
to
made.
school.
User USSJ2 Elijah says, ah okay.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I still owe you guys streams of working on this bot so I can start on the Java and E++ version of it. Because Twitch has updated the API, so they had the pub sub But I'm using the event sub API for the bot with a raw socket. But they've updated the event sub API with some new features to get more information about like events stuff. So it should make it easier. I should be able to pull in the data now instead of me having to parse raw strings for everything. At least for the events, I should be able to get information like when someone subscribes or follows, stuff like that. They'll send it in separate separate fields, a markup language. And so I can just pull the field, parse the fields instead of having to parse all of the raw text. Allegedly, from what I saw the other day. Because someone else has a text-to-speech bot that they were working on, but they capture not only the chat, but they capture sub events, gift subs, follows, grades, and all that other stuff. He was trying to get things working. He was testing and seeing the raw data that was coming over. He was like, oh, it's actually sending you basically an object now instead of just raw text that you have to kind of figure out on your own, which is easier for me because then as long as that format doesn't change, then just put it in an array or put it in a linked list objects or a linked list of fields for an object, and then I can actually do stuff. So it would make it easier, for instance, of getting multiple messages from the same person in a row instead of just firing them out as soon as I get them. I can wait until I get a new event from someone else within a certain amount of time and then just say, hey, boom, this person said this, 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 and this, like what we talked about. But it'll be easier than have to parse everything on my own. I can just look at the fields. So in theory, it should be easier now. Less heavy lifting. Let their basically let their API do the heavy lifting on their end and just give me the data that I want in the format that I want. Will make it much easier to port because in that case, we're all working with the same objects. Doesn't matter the language. So then you can just use whatever data structures and whatever algorithms work better in that language. And you don't have to worry about the all these different non-standard libraries. Like for instance, between C and C++, I'm not a fan of C++, but I've learned to like it more and see the utility of it more than just writing C with objects. But the standard C library is leaps and bounds better than the standard C++ library, especially when it comes to strings. Like the C++ standard library for strings is ass trash. Like, yes, it can process C strings, but what's the point of having an object-oriented language if I need to use C strings just so I can competently work with a string versus what they have in, like for instance, they don't have a tokenizer or anything, whereas the Java standard library for strings, since it's an object, it's aware of itself. I can tokenize, I can do anything I want. So yeah, that object consumes more of a footprint in memory, but memory is cheap, and I can just destroy it when I'm done. But being able to have the object work on itself instead of me have to invoke other third-party languages just to do something simple as tokenizing or concatenate, or not concatenating, but trimming empty space or replacing characters. You know, it's like, C1 sucks. Like, I get it. Like, we want to keep it simple, but it can't do some of the basic features that even C does with its standard string library. But anyway. Let's get our kill shot. Okay, cool. So I also have some chicken wings that I think Nurse Lucy was going to take with her and then didn't. So we'll figure out what to do with that. I could go with the chili cheese fries. So like I said before, we had the macaroni aflutsky. which is translated from Russian is basically naval
User
pasta
trooper
or
underscore
navy
says,
pasta.
Why don't you simply just change all code to Rust?
Why don't you simply
Why
just
you
change all
gotta
code to
keep
Rust?
oppressing with
Why you gotta
ancient
keep
C
oppressing
and
the
C++?
ancient C and C? Well, I want to learn Rust. So eventually we'll get there. I want to learn Rust, but Rust has a weird syntax. I'm not used to the syntax Rust. It's kind of like Golang, where the return value or the return object type is at the end. And Rust also has implicit return types. So instead of you typing explicitly return whatever, if you put a return type on the function, you don't put return, but whatever the last line of code is in that function, that's assumed to be your return type if it's supposed to return. I don't like that, considering that you have to do all this other stuff for type or for memory safety stuff, and it's a lot of boilerplate typing out the same thing over and over. Why would they then say, oh, well, this one thing, we're just gonna have you not do it. It's syntactical sugar. You don't have to worry about it. Like, that's dumb. If you're gonna be explicit everywhere else, be explicit about this too. But what do I know?
User
I'm not a...
Froggy1887 says,
Hey, Froggy,
"Good morning,
what's
family
happening?
car."
I think one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to also add something for when you guys come into the chat to monitor the live viewers when someone comes in, to actually have customized alerts for you guys. For instance, like with Froggy doing the terrories, especially if they want to get Froggy, you know, have that pop up when you come into the chat. So everyone has their own like intro. That makes sense. Personalized intro for the regular viewers. Hey Froggy, how's it going? What's happening, my G? Anyway, this is the Navy Maritime Pasta, Naval Pasta. So this is the meat
User
sauce.
Froggy1887 says,
I would love that for me as an alert. Yeah, that would be hilarious. To me, at least. So we've got that. We've got the Cornish hen that I'm thawing right now, and we've got these peppers that Nurse Lucy got. Organic mixed chili, so they're serrano, jalapeno, and cherry bombs. So what I would like to do is cut these guys up, probably put a little char on them first, and then cut them up, and then add them to this and use this as a stuffing for the Cornish hen. This is what I would like to do. I will see. Rice. I also have some, I think I told you guys earlier, I have some beans and rice, or well, beans that I made however many streams. I don't know, did I make this on stream? I don't remember. I just thought of this the other day. It's pork neck bones, smoked neck bones, and smoked turkey necks in beans. And make that as a side for this. So one thing that Nurse Lucy noticed, and maybe it's affecting my mood, is not been eating a lot of vegetables in food. Like I've been eating raw vegetables and fruit, but yeah.
But I can't really tell if I'm still sick or not.
Went to work
How are
yesterday
you
and
guys?
felt just fine. Just small coughs, but I can't really tell if I'm still sick or not. How are you guys? Damn, I'm sorry that you were sick. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay, doing better. Yeah, got my ups and downs with the depression thing and sleeping thing, but you know, it is what it is. Can't complain too much. Doing better. Been productive this last week or so.
My head feels fine, no headache.
Head feels fine, no headaches. Okay, well, that's progress, my friend. That's all that we can ask for is progress.
User Froggy1887
Oh, thank you.
says,
Thank you.
"Glad you were productive."
Thank you. I know that I'm disembodied head over here, so I apologize. So let's see what we can do with the Cornish hen.
User Master of Splits 180 says, I have a dish request for next Saturday. You down for it?
How do you own so much? Seriously, I want to know, is it training? If you only knew how much you mean to me, I want to know, are we meant to be?
User Trooper_ish says, there is also a suggestion box under the video window. For any suggestions as well. User Froggy1887 says, keep it up in life, all of you. Life is not always easy, always challenges, but living it up is the best you can do for yourself. User Master of Splits 180 says, Kentucky Hot Browns to celebrate the Kentucky Derby. The most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Horse racing rose.